Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 13 April 2017, coming to you with a knife review, and it's kind of a cool knife, I gotta say. And you guys see the box, Columbia River Knife and Tool. Yeah. It's going to be a rave review of a CRKT knife on the TheApostleP channel. Yeah, no kidding, really. Here's why. I actually have a sharpening customer who sent me this knife along with some sharpening specifically to review. And pretty timely, I think. If you're watching this video, when it's new, you'll know what I mean. If you're looking at it, a year or two or three down the road, this might not mean much to you, but this is a time when a rather large and much loved manufacturer of modern folding knives is experiencing a sea change on how their knives are taken apart and maintained. The CRKT Homefront might be part of the reason. And let's kind of go back in time. And because of this issue, and you guys know it, Spyderco's, the companies, kind of changed their warranty policy and the way they think about knife disassembly. And during all this turmoil and controversy surrounding Spyderco, my mind has been going a million miles an hour about just this topic. And, I'm always conceiving of strange things in my mind. And it occurred to me, there are things that cost more than a folding knife, that are more dangerous than a folding knife, that owners and users have been intended by the manufacturers to disassemble and maintain for, I don't know, hundreds of years. Yeah, they're guns. And it's interesting, I think, that a lot of the same people that own guns also own knives. So let's kind of look. Here's my thought progression in all this. This is a revolver. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 19 357 revolver. And let's open her up and make it safe. That's how we, that's how we make a revolver safe. See, there's no bullets in there. Okay, so in order to field strip and clean a revolver, this is pretty much all you need to do. You press a button, you swing a cylinder out, you swab the bore, you swab the chambers, you clean powder off the recoil pad back there, you lube it up, wipe it down, put it back together. If you need to do some really, really intensive cleaning, there are a couple simple screws, precisely machined screws, and a couple more things going on underneath the grip. No Loctite in this firearm, just really well made parts that all go together, precisely fit. This side cover comes off, and see how nicely it's fitted. But these are intended to be user maintained. Well, is there anything in the folding knife industry that sort of follows that theme? Precisely machined parts designed to be serviced by the owner, and you put it back together, it goes back together exactly in the same place every time. Well, I think there is a knife that kind of resembles that. This is a Chris Reeves Sebenza. Very precisely made hardware. They supply you the wrenches to take the knife apart. They even supply you the lubricant to use when you put it back together. And you lock everything down tight. And when the parts are properly tuned, polished, this is the kind of action you end up with. Okay, you can take this apart, put it back together hundreds of times. It's going to always be the same. No thread locker needed. So I would say the Sebenza is kind of the revolver of knives. Okay, but my mind continues to race. Okay. Put these big old gold dots, 158 grain hollow points back in, and get her ready for home defense. Okay. What if there were a modern folding knife designed for maintenance like a modern semi-automatic pistol, like this Smith & Wesson M&P Shield? something that with no tools at all can be taken apart to a level that it can be cleaned, maintained, lubricated, and put back together by the user. In fact, it's expected that any responsible user of a pistol like this should be able to do that kind of with his eyes closed in a relatively short amount of time. Gosh darn it, looks like I got +1 loaded up there. Well, you know, modern folding knives aren't really designed to do that. Until now. Check this out, my friends. Let's just do it, shall we? By the way, this is the CRKT Homefront Columbia River knife and tool. Here's the guts of the knife, shall we say. It is a sexy bayonet ground drop point with a fuller with a silky, velvety, sort of bead blast and stonewash finish. Hollow ground. Aus 8 steel. Blade length is 3.5 inches. Handle length 4 3/4. Just a beautiful handle. Hard anodized OD green aluminum with some parkerized hardware. Nice jimped back spacer. And a gear back here. We'll get into that. Knife is made in Taiwan. They're saying it's brown here on Blade HQ's website. Did they make it in 2 colors? I'm seeing this as an OD green, but my eyes are old. It is a flipper with sort of a gun hammer spur flipper, which is a really great design for a flipper. It really is. Check out the flipping action. Not on ball bearings, not on phosphor bronze, but on Teflon. A wise application for this thing. What is the claim to fame of the Homefront? Well, here it is, my friends. By simply moving this lever to that position, holding the pivot area of the knife tight, and spinning this gear, off comes the top scale, out comes the blade. Check out this pivot pin. A groove around a hex that interfaces with, I think you can see the hex in there, with the hex that turns when you move this lever. Teflon washers, which require no lubrication. This knife is designed, if you dump it in a sand pit or a mud puddle or in a riverbed, it's designed to be quickly taken apart, wiped down, and put back together by the user. Isn't that something? You know, it takes a little practice to get good at it, but it can be gotten good at. Pinch the pivot tight, line up the butt end of the knife, spin the wheel. All you're doing is turning a screw. See, you're threading that screw into that hole. When that's home, it's home. And then this is one that takes a little finagling sometimes. You just move that lever back to the home position. There you go. And it's ready to use. Again, with perfect flipping action and perfect blade centering. Did you see that? I'm telling you guys, this is exciting. It really is. Tension for the pivot, and also to make the blade properly centered is accomplished by this T10 Torx on the lock bar side of the knife. I'm sure you saw it's just a stainless steel locking leaf screwed into that aluminum scale. Check that thing out. No blade play in any direction. The knife centers up. It has great action. Super durable construction. You know, guys, I'm not a huge CRKT fan, but one thing about CRKT that they are awesome for is that they'll try anything once. They innovate, man. Lots of designs done in collaboration with Grant and Gavin Hawk. I think they were the first, everyman's production manufacturer who used IKBS bearings in knives. Not that I think that was a great idea, but they'll try anything. Some of what they try is hokey. I will admit that. Sometimes they hit a home run. I thought the lock system was hokey. I think this is a home run. And frankly, I didn't think so at first. I gave a cursory glance to some YouTube reviews of the Homefront. And I thought, man, there's no way. That thing's going to be different every time you put it together. There's no way that thing's going to work. Well, guess what? It works. And isn't it sharp looking? A beautiful blade shape. Gorgeous fuller, gorgeous swedge. Superb flipper tab. Lockup is rock solid. Everything it needs to be. And how about that pivot? This looks like Captain America's knife, doesn't it? Okay, let's look at the rest of this thing. Great saber grip, perfect jimping, right machined into that hard anodized aluminum frame. Superb saber grip. Great hammer grip. Great draw cut grip. Reverse grip, nothing wrong with that. Even in that sort of vertical draw cut grip, it's very good. It's just a good handle. It's a gorgeous blade. It's a great handle. A superb innovation. What is not to like here? It's a little pricey. This knife manufactured in Taiwan. Around $100, maybe more. I think I saw a listing at a website for 90 something, but the knives were all sold out, and I think they're in stock at Blade HQ for like $115. And but if I'd have looked at that pricing before I actually had one of these knives in my hand and had it apart, I'd have thought that's nuts. But frankly, guys, it is not nuts. Man, if they gave us a lefty clip option on this thing, I'd probably own one. I might own one anyway. I like it. It's a great idea, and they got it pretty much right. Right out of the box on a fairly inexpensive knife. Imagine what CRKT could do with this FST field strip technology if they had Lion Steel build them one for about $200. What do you think that might look like? I think it might look pretty cool. But even as it is, that is one handsome knife that has no structural or mechanical issues. It just rocks. Now, it's not, is it going to be as stable mechanically and structurally as an integral? No. Is it going to have the side-to-side rigidity of a knife on phosphor bronze washers? No. But you might give up those things that mean nothing in the daily use of a 3.5-inch folding knife in exchange for a knife that you could have out in bad weather, drop it in the mud, and without trying to use it and screwing up all the working parts inside, you just pop it open, wipe it down with your bandana, dunk it in the water, put it back together, and voila, it's going to work just like it did before you took it apart, just like a Sabenza, which takes a little more work to get it apart, right? We got our revolver knife, and we got our semi-auto pistol knife. What a beautiful thing. No tiny, tiny, tiny little torque screws with Loctite that like to break and strip and have knife companies voiding warranties because you tried to take them apart. Just take it apart. Put it back together. Anybody can do it. The world is coming into balance. Things are starting to make sense. That's all for this one. Just go buy one. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the word is sharp.